Now let's think a bit bigger. The principles of circulation. To transport anything, there should be components or there should be some needs for transportation. Within any organism, substances need to be moved from one place to another. One of the main ways substances move into and out of the cell is by diffusion. If you remember, diffusion is the movement of the particles in a liquid or a gas down a concentration gradient from an area where they are at a relatively high concentration to an area where they are at a relatively low concentration. Okay, diffusion, as we said, is the free movement of particles in a liquid or a gas down a concentration gradient. This movement is from an area where the particles are a relatively high concentration to low concentration. Okay, in single-celled organisms and microscopic multicellular organisms, diffusion is sufficient to supply all their needs. However, when organisms reach a certain size, diffusion alone is not enough, for example, in our bodies. So, let's first go to the easy part, which is transport in small organisms where diffusion is enough. For a single-celled organism like an amoeba and for very small multicellular organisms, including many marine larvae, the nutrients and oxygen that they need can diffuse directly into the cells from the external environment. And waste substances can diffuse directly out. This works well for the following reasons. First reason is that the diffusion distances from the outside to the innermost areas of the cells are very small, so small distance. 2. The surface area in contact with the outside environment is very large when compared to the volume of the inside of the organism. So basically the surface area to the volume ratio area is large. So there is surface area to volume ratio is large. So there is a relatively big surface area over which substances can diffuse into or out of the organism. So basically this can be this can be written down like easily. I'll put some notes and post it on the Instagram and Telegram channel. So first of all, let's go right with me. Transport in small organisms. Why it can happen only through diffusion? First of all, because small distance, and second of all, big surface area. Third, which is the last one, the metabolic demands are low. So the organisms do not regulate their own temperature and the cells do not use much oxygen, food, or produce much carbon dioxide. Metabolic demands are low. Okay, so this is why diffusion is more than enough. Diffusion just do their own needs. Now modeling surface area to the volume ratio. This is just to read. You can pause the video and read it. Okay, let's go. Now, the need for transport in multicellular animals. Of course, multicellular animals does not only depend on diffusion because they are very big for that. There are other ways such as we're gonna not know about them, but there are other ways we've talked about before: active transport, osmosis, and of course diffusion is a very important method as well. So within a large multicellular organism such as mammals, many chemical reactions take place inside every microscopic cell. These cells require a supply of chemical substances such as glucose and oxygen of cellular respiration. As you know, glucose and oxygen gives out water and carbon dioxide. These must be transported from outside a large organism into these cells. Respiration supplies energy of the other reactions of life, but it also produces the toxic waste product carbon dioxide. This and other waste products need to be removed from the cells before they cause damage to them. Of course, some large multicellular organisms have internal transport systems that carry substances to every cell in the body. These systems deliver oxygen and nutrients and remove waste so that cells can carry out their functions efficiently. As you know, organs that remove waste products such as kidney and lungs. In large complex animals such as humans, chemicals made in a cell in one part of the body, such as a hormone like insulin or adrenaline, may influence a different type of cell elsewhere in the body. So substances made internally need to be moved around the body as well. In many animals, such as vertebrates, this transport system is the heart and circulatory system and the fluid that flows through it. This is an example of the mass transport system. We're going to talk about the mass transport system in further details as soon, but now let's just talk about the transportation itself, which means that the substances are transported in the flow of a liquid with a mechanism for moving it around the body. All large complex organisms have some form of mass transport system, which overcomes the limits of diffusion between the internal and external environments. Substances are delivered over short distances from the mass transport system to individual cells deep in the body by processes such as diffusion, osmosis, and active transport, as I just mentioned earlier. Now, this shouldn't have a quick revision. However, you need to know that there are 3 ways that we need to really know by heart: diffusion, osmosis, and active transport. We've already explained here diffusion and osmosis and active transport. You already know them from the O level. Basically, osmosis is the same as diffusion, however, it's with water potential. And active transport is totally the against. Here in diffusion, it's from high to low. Active transport from low to high using energy. And so I think we're going to mention it as well, but later on. So, you want to start with the features of mass transport systems now? Let's go. Okay, let's go. Now, features of mass transport system. Mass transport systems are very effective for moving substances around the body. Most mass transport systems have certain features which are the same. They have 6 points which are their features. First of all, the exchange surfaces to get materials into and out of the transport system. Second of all, a system of vessels that carry substances. These are usually tubes, sometimes following a very specific route, sometimes widespread and branching. Third way, a way of making sure that substances are moved in the right direction, for example, nutrients and waste out. Again, so the mass transport system itself is basically an arrangement of structure by which substances are transported in the flow of a fluid with a mechanism for moving it around the body. So it's basically the arrangement of the structure which the substances are transported, right? So there are features on which how it's organized or arranged. First of all, the vessels, the system of vessels that carry the substances. It has either very specific route or widespread. Second, it's the way of making sure that substances are moving in the right direction. Third point we covered, it is the exchange surfaces, the alveoli, for example, and so. Also, third point, substances that move in the right direction. I think, of course, the valve is one of the ways. Fourth point, which is the way of moving materials fast enough to supply the needs of the organism. This way basically may involve mechanical methods such as pumping of the heart or ways of maintaining a concentration gradient, so that substances move quickly from one place to another. Fifth, a suitable transport medium. Sixth and last, in many cases, a way of adapting the rate of transport to the needs of the organism.